Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Triple M here. And today, as you can see, we are going to be checking out Eruth, Tormented Prophet. So draw two cards, or you don't get a draw phase anymore with her, except you take the top two cards of your library every turn, put them in exile, and you can play either one of those cards. Frantic card draw, right? So that's her shtick. As long as she's out, and if you run out of your deck, it doesn't matter because you don't have a draw phase. So as long as she stays out with you having hit your draw phase, you're never going to lose the game with her. So she's the commander of this deck. However, I've got a little something extra because I don't buy too many of the collector's edition packs, but I've bought two for Crimson Vow. And yeah, I ended up getting Eruth's Dracula card, so Renfield. So it's the same exact card as Eruth, but it's just a different character. So he's in here as well. So I can interchange either one of them as my commander for this deck and it'd still be the same. Yeah, so yeah, imagine getting both of them out on the board. 4 cards a turn on just basic. Yeah, it's going to be insane. Sorry, I got itch my arm. All right, so the other legendaries I am running in this deck. I have a lot of dice mechanics. Not a lot of dice mechanics, but the dice mechanics I do have do serve a purpose in this deck. But he's the actual only one that I think doesn't. I could take him out if I wanted to. I just don't have. I got a couple cards I still need to get for this deck to really spice it up, kick it up a few notches. And this guy is actually one I would take out. But, you know, he's a 2/3. Anytime I get to roll a dice, what is it? He gets gains flying and menace until the end of turn. And if the result of my dice roll was a 10 or higher, I get to draw a card. But because I don't draw cards anymore, that would be another 2 cards. Yeah. I'm running quite a bit of artifacts in this deck, so this guy actually can help me a little bit. Anytime I got an artifact with an activated ability, I can just keep pumping in red mana and duplicating the effects of that artifact with that guy. Oh, Kirkrish Anake Ancient, by the way. Itali, Primal Storm. What more can you say? Exiling your opponent's card. You know, if I'm exiling my cards in this deck, I'm going to make my opponent's exile just a little bit. And this is the guy to make that happen. I actually was excited. I get to put Vodric in this deck. Never had much of a use for the card, but the boost for his what is it? Anytime you get the day and night cycle activated, he keeps getting a +1/+1 counter. Every +1/+1 counter is another mana off of instance and sorcery spells. So, and I'm running a lot of instance and sorceries in this deck. So he's just a nice one to have in here. Grazalax, Ithalid Scholar. Nothing major with him. He's just in here so I can steal a creature if need be from my opponents. Nothing too major. But those are the legendaries. Oh, excuse me. Creatures now. Like I said, the Kirkrush Anake Ancient with that. Anytime I have that non-mana activated abilities, I can keep paying for extra hits. I figure this is a good way to exploit that deals 1 damage to each opponent. If I can keep pumping mana in with that, this thing can do a lot of damage. But yeah, Brimstone Trebuchet. Standard, Solemn Simulacrum. You know, dies, draws a card, which means I get 2 cards instead of the 1. Sildelvi Golem. This guy, one of my older cards, just a creature lockdown card. I attack with him, he doesn't untap. I tap one of my opponent's creatures to untap him. Just something to keep a creature out of my way. I figure Eruth seems like the kind of girl who would have a couple of creepy dolls lying around. Indestructible, coin flips. It's just it's an easy way to get rid of creatures. The embarrassing ones now. Yeah, I threw some Eldrazi's in here. So I've got the Breaker of Armies in here. Basically, if every creature that can block him has to when he attacks. The Eldrazi Devastator. Just, yeah, 8/9 Trampler. Nothing. It's scary, but not too scary. And Bane and Bala Ged. I just don't know why they just didn't say Annihilator 2, but whenever it attacks, Annihilator 2 pretty much is what it is. So, now, a lesser, what is it? Which one was it that has the Annihilator 6? I forget if it was Ulamog or Emrakul. I forget which one. Someone in the comments can remind me. I don't have either one of those guys. I never got any of the big Titans, big Eldrazi Titans. I was always saddened by that. I threw a Storm Skrillex in here. Just something else that gives me some mana off on instants and sorceries, and whenever I cast one, he gets +2/+0 into the end of turn. And he's a flyer, so that's cool. The Invisible Stalker. I mean, for 2 mana, a 1/1 hexproof, and he's unblockable. I mean, what more could you want than that, right? Like, it's just simple, easy creature. Doesn't look like much, but it can be a pain in the butt to deal with. And my spare sludge monster, because why not? You've seen him in my Toctril deck, you know what it does. That would probably be another card that'll come out, honestly, when I get my other, some of the stuff I'm going to order this Friday. And I've got a list of, like, I think 8 or 9 cards I want to take out of this deck to throw in here. Tyrant's Familiar. I think this is the only card I have that has Lieutenant. So, why does Eruth or Renfield have a dragon? Why not, right? Basically, it's just an easy, more way for direct damage. He gets, as long as I have my commander, he gets +2/+2, so he'd be a 7/7. And whenever he just attacks, not even doing any before blocking or anything, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. So it's like instant 7 damage. It's an instant killer, pretty much, whenever it attacks. Young Pyromancer, why not? Gotta have the little... Actually, that's what I need. I need to get a token card for red elementals. I gotta write that down. I've got one. I think I've got one at home somewhere in my token box. But yep, Young Pyromancer, because why not? This next one I threw in here kind of as a joke, but I don't know, I like it enough. Ball Lightning. 3 red for a 6/1 Trampler with haste, pretty much. And I can destroy him at the end of any turn. Just at the end of any turn, bury it. Wild Mage Sorcerer. Turns everything I have in exile. The first spell I cast from exile every turn gets Cascade. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. But, yeah, he's in here for some fun. Uh-oh. We dropped the cards. Okay. Standard but true, Gutter Snipe. Gotta have it in there. Anytime instant or sorcerer's cast, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. That dude, combined with the Trebuchet, combined with the Kessig Flame Breather, deals 1 damage anytime I cast a non-creature spell. So that includes enchantments, artifacts. I mean, that's, yeah. We got the Brimstone Vandal, just a simple 2/3 with Menace. Kickstarts that Night Day effect to synergizes with Vodric the Astral Mage. And whenever the day or night cycle changes, he deals damage to each opponent. So, a bunch of little stupid, little cheap damage tricks like that. This card, it's nothing to brag about, it's nothing exceptional, but it's actually the oldest card I have in Magic, and it's my original, I believe it's an alpha Wall of Fire. But it might not, it's either an alpha or a beta, I don't remember which, but the card's older than any other Magic card I've ever owned. But I keep that in here because you need that old-time flame wall, right? Artifacts, now. Here's where it's going to get interesting. Kind of interesting, I guess. Ruby Medallion, just anything that makes red spells cheaper. Why not, right? Swiftfoot Boots. I figure since I have both Eruth and Renfield in here, I don't know if this would really matter so much, but I keep them in there anyways. Just a great way to get some treasure tokens. Bucknard's even full, ever full purse. Everybody gets treasure. I'll get some treasure tokens on the turn with it. Next turn, I'll have to give it to somebody. They'll get treasures with it. It's chaotic because you don't know if it's going to help or hurt you. And I kind of wanted that theme to go with the madness theme of this deck. Like, you're going insane because it's like, what the hell are you doing with this deck? Bag of Holding. Another card that works well with exile cards. I like it a lot in this deck. Probably my favorite card of the Forgotten Realms series, the Deck of Many Things. This card it's such a wild card, but it's so much fun to play, and you can have some fun with it with this deck. Nothing fancy. I believe this is the only mana. Yeah, the only mana rock I threw in this deck. Not real mana. I mean, other than the Eldrazi, this is the only. Those are the only 3 majorly big casting cost spells. So I might even take the Izzet Cluestone out soon enough. But we'll see. Geiss Flame Reservoir. This card, actually, I didn't get this until, I think, 2 weeks after my Wild Hunt pre-release at my local game shop. The first game I played against in that turn pre-release destroyed me with this card. And then when I got one, I was like, I have to throw this in a deck. Like, this card ruined me. Geiss Flame Reservoir. Put a charge counter on it every single time you cast an instant or a sorcery. And then you can take the charge counters off to deal direct damage. You can kind of see the theme of this deck. Wizard Spellbook. Another dice rolling card. Goes well with Feindal the Devil's Chosen. Enchantments. To go along with the theme of madness with this one, I also threw in a reality twist. I'm not a fan of cumulative upkeeps whatsoever. But man, this card can screw up everybody's mana boards for a turn or two. Can give me just the right edge I need. I mean, blue magic's the only blue spell that's not affected. So what this does, it's cumulative upkeep, 1 colorless, 2 blue. And this will then be, it doubles every turn, cumulative upkeep. So instead of their normal mana, plains produce mountains, swamps produce forests, mountains produce plains, and forests produce swamps. Like I said, it can screw up a game for a couple of turns, however long I can keep it out. You're going to see some cards, you're going to be like, wait a second, Triple M. I know I've seen these cards before in past decks of yours. It's because some of those decks, the Toxtrol deck has been completely revised. I got a bunch of other stuff for it. It's a lot different deck now. I might do my next deck tech on that revision for that. After this one, I'm doing the Vampires, Orzhov Vampires, and then I'm going to probably show off the revised Toxtrol deck. Because it's not the Toxtrol deck anymore. It's actually, I switched it up a bit. So yeah, we're throwing curses around. Blue and red curses. So Curse of Unbinding. Reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. I get to put that card in the battlefield under my control, and then that player puts the rest of those cards they drew into the graveyard. So it's basically just a great way to get them to eat out their deck. Same thing with the Curse of the Bloody Tome. Each enchant a player at the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep. That player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into their graveyard. Oh, excuse me again. Mirror Maid, in case I need to copy an artifact. Or an enchantment, actually. I could try. Yeah. But I'm thinking with this, there's a couple of things I would do with it. It all depends on what's out on the board at the moment. Curse of Hospitality. Creatures attacking enchanted player have trample, and whenever a creature deals combat damage to that enchanted player, that player exiles the top card of their library. Until the end of turn, that creature's controller may play that card, and they may spend money as if though they had mana of any color to cast that spell. So anytime, if I put this on player B, anytime players A, C, and D attack this player, they're going to get a card off the top of their deck. And it's just, assuming they can cast it, they get to cast it. If not, it's just what goes in the graveyard. Curse of the Pierced Heart. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, Curse of the Pierced Heart deals 1 damage to that player. Guaranteed 1 damage every turn. Slow but steady death. It's kind of the thing with this deck. Slow but steady demise. And then a Curse of Obsession. At the beginning of enchanted player's draw step, that player draws 2 additional cards. At the beginning of enchanted player's end step, that player discards their hand. This is actually a curse I would probably almost play on myself for this deck to go with the theme of frantic card draw. Now, the next 3 cards will be interesting. I don't know how the reaction I'm going to get out of this, but we'll see. Mana Flare. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, it produces 1 additional mana of the same type. Part of the reason why I keep the Izzet Clue Stone in the deck, why it might stay, is because if I get this out, everything's 2 mana, and I might just want to be able to have an odd number. So keeping that Izzet Clue Stone is the key to keeping an odd number of mana available. Now, to contest the Mana Flare, I also threw in Mana Barbs. Anytime a land is tapped for mana, Mana Barbs deals 1 damage to that land's controller. So, yeah, you tap 5 mana a turn, you're going to take 5 in damage. Disgusting. And then Mudslide. Creatures without flying do not untap during their controller's untap phase. At the end of his or her upkeep, each player may pay an additional 2 per creature to untap a creature without flying he or she controls. Just a great way to shut anything down from happening to me. I want to cause chaos. I don't want to get attacked for it, though. You know what I'm saying? Or if I do get attacked, I want to punish those who can't, who do attack me with that. Instants now. A lot of burn spells. You're not going to be all that. Burn and draw spells, pretty much so. Shock. Deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Flame Lash. Deal 4 damage to target creature or player. Oh, Chaos Warp. Because why not? You want to get rid of 1 permanent, shuffle it into their library, and then let them pull something else out. Could be great, could be bad. Thematically, it goes well with the deck. Play with Fire deals 2 damage to any target player. If a player is dealt damage or this way, that you get to scry 1. So I don't know how well scrying is going to work with this deck. I actually haven't gotten a chance to play any of the scry cards yet, so there's that. Burn the Accursed. It deals 5 damage to a target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. If a creature died from it, exile it. Magma Jet. Deals 2 damage to target player or creature. Then you get the scry 2. Cathartic Pyre. Choose 1. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Or I get to discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. You can probably imagine which way I'm going with that. Pyrokinesis. I may remove a red card from my hand from the game instead of paying the casting cost for this. So exiling a red card from my hand, and I get to deal 4 damage divided any way I choose among any number of target creatures. Not bad for a burn spell, I think. Aether Sprouts. For each attacking creature, its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Jace's Ingenuity. Draw 3 cards for 5 mana. Little pricey, but you know what? Why not? And then Drown in Dreams. Choose 1. And if I control my commander as I cast the spell, I get to choose both. Target player draws X cards. Target player mills twice as many cards. You can only imagine. So basically, I'm going to draw twice as many cards, and they're going to exile twice as many cards. Should be fun. Or if you think about it, technically, since I'm not drawing anything, what's double of 0, 0. So that card actually might not even be workable in this deck, and that may have to come out. Sorceries now. This will close us out. I think after this, I just go over the couple of lands and some tokens. Divination. Draw 2 cards. Why not, right? Simple, fast, efficient card draw. I'm asking opponents, draw 3 cards, and then put a card from my hand on the bottom of my library. Remember, I was talking Tasha's Hideous Laughter. This card is no joke. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with a mana value of 20 or more. Yeah, it's such a dirty card, but you know what? In this deck, it goes well. Fading Hope, return target creature to its owner's hand. If its mana value is 3 or less, I get the scry one. Not bad for a single drop, right? For another single drop, I get the Void Snare, which does the same thing as the other past card without the scrying. Pull from the Deep. Return up to one target instant card and up to one target sorcery card from my graveyard to my hand, and then exile it. This card actually might have to come out too now I think about it. I guess I didn't read it hard enough. Because that, yeah, that, I'm not really going to have a graveyard. Everything's going in exile. Well, no, take it back. No, because, yeah, if I cast it from, right? That's how it would work, right? If I cast a card from an instant or sorcery from exile with Eruth or Renfield, I cast the spell, so then technically it's still going to go in the graveyard. So that, maybe there is a reason for it. This card is real special to me. This was my promo, or was it my stamp card from the turn pre-release of Crimson Vow. Alchemist Gambit. I got this card and I was just like, you got to be joking. I'm never going to play this card. I don't usually build anything with red in it. Red's honestly my least favorite color in Magic to play with. So when I got this card, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then I see the cleave cost, 4 colorless, 2 blues, and a red. But then you get to remove all the parentheses stuff. So it says, take an extra turn after this one. During that turn, damage can't be prevented. And then, yeah, I get to take an extra turn after this one, pretty much. But if I don't pay the cleave cost, I lose the game after doing it. So, there's that. Shattered Perception. Discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards with a 5 colorless, 1 red flashback. Not too bad. I thought nice little thing to do at the beginning. You got to have Faithless Looting in this deck. It's just paramount, I think. Yeah, you draw 2 cards and you discard 2 cards, and then it's got flashback, so you can do it again. Light Up the Night deals X damage to any target. It also deals X plus 1 damage instead if that target creature is a creature or a planeswalker. And you get the flashback it, which does some other funky stuff. And then the classic Fireball deals X damage, divided evenly, rounded down, and among any number of target creatures and or players. Pay an additional 1 for each target beyond the first. So that is that. So remember, I need to get a red elemental token creature for this deck still because of the Young Pyromancer, but other than that, we're only going to need a Day and Night card. So choose colorless one, or clear sleeves for those. But other than the red elemental token, I need to throw in here Eldrazi Scions and Treasures. Because for the lands, most of it is mountains and islands. Shoot, hold up. I should have planned this out a little bit better, everybody. I am sorry, bear with me. I am still learning how to do this stuff. And I'm doing this free-handed. Okay. So I believe, yeah. You got islands, mountains, and then our unique lands. What am I throwing in here? I've got a Spawning Bed. That's for the reason why the Eldrazi Scions are in here. Eldrazi, Insanity, Eruth. Love. Stiffwater Cliffs, just another way to get a free life and get the dual land access. Temple of the False God. I could probably take this out if I wanted to. Replace it with another mountain or something, but I was going to keep it in here, an extra 2 mana, as long as I got the lands out for it. Dormant Volcano. It's a good card, but you got to return a mountain to your hand, but you get that 2 mana payoff at the bottom for it, so it works for me. And then an Is It Guildgate, because obviously. But that's my Eruth deck right now. Now, as it stands right now, I've got an, let's see, I have an an Aetherflux Channeler, an Uba Mask. I had a couple of creatures in here that on my order list for this deck as well. But yeah, that is it, and I would love to hear you think. I don't see too many people playing with Eruth or Renfield, so I always feel kind of bad. Because this isn't my forte with is a color scheme. But this was a lot of fun to build. It was I don't know, I think it was just pretty interesting. She's an interesting commander, let's just say that. I think there's a lot to do with her. My only complaint is that I wish to goodness I could find a blue, red, black commander that would really work. Because if I can find a blue, red, black commander, I would throw these two, and then I would take my spare Prosper Tomebound and throw it in this deck. Oh my goodness, I wish to hell Prosper Tomebound could work with this deck. It would just be a thing of disgusting beauty. Treasures and exiled cards. And when I get that Uba Mask in, it's going to be even better because I can play the cards from exile. I don't lose them. It'll be insane. But until then, that is it. I'd love to hear some feedback on Eruth. Like I said, she's a real interesting commander, and I just don't see anybody at my local game shop playing with her. Everybody's playing with the precons and then adding in like the original Edgar Markov and building a whole new vampire decks with him, and it's really interesting to see what's going on with that right now. But yeah, other than that, man, please, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment down below. I'd say like, share, and subscribe, but I'm not that kind of guy, man. If you like the stuff, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Either way, leave me some comments, and stay spell slinging, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode.